coming in. Yeah, flex. I just wanna win. Yeah, LABB, who we running with. Yeah, 2233, I'm on 10 again.
Welcome to another episode of the Questionable Content Podcast. I am your host, Mike Santi, and joining me today is the very talented, very funny Matt.
That's me.
Welcome.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So, for what a lot of you guys, some of you guys, who knows how many of you guys do or don't know, Matt is a very talented artist, musician, producer.
Much love. Much love.
For the folks at home, where can they find you on at least social media for now?
So right now, it's just the Instagram, and that's Milliondollarfingers. So that's million, the regular way you spell it, dollar, the regular way you say it, and fingers, the regular way you spell it.
Spell normal words, people.
Milliondollarfingers. That's it.
All right. And so, where are you from originally?
I am from a very small town called Timmonsville, South Carolina.
Timmonsville.
Yeah.
Where?
Florence.
Okay. So before you continue
Yeah.
and waste any more of your time,
Yeah.
I will tell you right now,
Yeah.
I know zero geography of South
Okay.
Carolina.
Yeah.
I know. I can't even pretend. Like, I know Fort Mill
Okay.
because,
okay.
it's close to Charlotte. I know kind of Myrtle Beach.
Okay, so you're in the same area
Of
South Carolina.
what? As
There-
Myrtle Beach?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. All right. I was like,
yeah. So you're in like the vicinity, you know? What
okay,
I'm saying?
cool,
Yeah.
cool. How far are you away from the beach
Uh,
or from water? No, not even a lake. A beach, for sure. A beach.
man, we rarely went from Florence.
Really?
Yeah. Like if we went to the beach, it was always Charleston because I have family in Charleston, South Carolina.
Okay.
So that's where we would go to the beach at. Yeah.
That's not bad.
That's about an hour and a half.
That's pretty darn close.
Yeah.
It's not bad.
Yeah.
I don't know what I was saying.
Yeah.
But anyways, so the producing side of things.
Yeah.
I was first put on to, I guess, well, no, I would say you put me on a couple times to your music and stuff like that. But as what you do creatively as a producer, the first time I got to see that was during this beat battle.
Yeah, MIDI Live, the homeboys, Jason Jett and Curtis Walls, they threw that event, and so it was really dope. A lot of great producers, a lot of great music for sure.
Yeah, definitely. And for those of you that don't know, the way it was, at least for now, the format was a 3-producer DJ
Yeah.
combo. Some of those people are combos of the both.
Yeah, for sure.
That it was almost, you were given these headphones for like a silent rave, silent disco, whatever you want to call it.
Yeah.
Each producer had a channel, so whether it was red, green, or blue, and then you could flip between the channels to listen to the artist making their music. There were 3 rounds. There was a sampling round, there was a creative round, there was another sampling round, and there was also a judging panel. But for you, what I noticed is that a lot of your music that night, at least, was loud. And it was
For
bass
sure.
heavy.
For sure.
That being said, where do you think that kind of inspiration for that type of sound come from?
I think it was just not only just being in the South, but my mother, she was very loud.
Shout out to all the loud moms out there.
She's gonna hate me so much for that. But my mother, she was loud, and so I always just kind of had this aggressive approach, just to making music, but not even just from a negative perspective, but just being able to convey powerful emotions through music. And so, and bass to me is such a beautiful conduit to be able to do that. And that's why even the side of music that I grew up listening to, a lot of trap music, a lot of Gucci Mane, T.I., Jeezy, Lil Wayne, even back in the day when he was heavy on the mixtape circuit. That's what Southern music was. It was just a lot of bass, and it was just loud. And so that I just listening to that growing up, it just always became embedded into me. So,
and it still has what I would say is that type of energy. So it's not what I would consider like a Houston kind of loud. That yes, it's still bass heavy, but it's a lot slower. Whereas I would say Southern rap still has that go to it.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, just Southern music is just supposed to make you feel something. It has to have groove, it has to have movement, it has to have energy, and that's just everything that I just came to love about music. And one thing, I grew up in the church, and so growing up in the church, I mean, it's gospel music 24/7. That's what was played in the house a lot growing up. And especially Southern gospel, it gives you that emotion, it gives you that feeling. And just growing up with gospel on one hand and just Southern trap, you know what I'm saying? You just kind of mold that into one. That pretty much makes up a lot of my sound. Just a lot of emotions, a lot of highs, a lot of lows, just a lot of dynamics. And gospel, is very dynamic as a genre. And so I just try to make my music try to follow that same vein of sound.
Okay. And that being said, where did you get your start to music? Like, was it partly in the church, or was there any particular moment where you got like a piece of equipment and you were like, oh, I can do this?
I always was drawn to just things that made noise and sound. I remember I was in 5th grade. My mom she had an old Windows 98 computer. It's trash, straight trash.
Hey,
it was the most trash.
Clown on the Windows 98.
You know what I'm saying? I mean, you were only meant to like open one
file at a time.
You know what I'm saying? Maybe play solitaire.
Was there a calculator on that?
Yeah, but like the regular dollar store calculator. Add, multiply, subtract.
You might get a percentage sign out there real quick.
Yeah, that's the fancy one.
As if you know how to use that.
Man. There was a software that my mom had called Cakewalk, and she had a USB microphone. Whatever she was doing with it, I don't know. She had it. And, she might have been
trying to get her Whitney Houston on.
She might have tried starting a podcast. I don't know. Just before it was even a thing.
She was sitting there
pioneering,
recording her thoughts.
You know, and so I just picked it up. I installed it, and I saw that, wow, I can talk into this microphone, and I can play back what I did later. And I just started a love of recording that lasted ever since. And then my granddad in the church, he was, I was just a young kid, not really into much. I was getting in trouble in school and stuff like that. And he was like, yeah, I'm just going to put you on the soundboard. And so that's really how I got my start into really understanding how things are supposed to sound, especially in live environments, being the sound engineer for my church. And and just going through those motions just over the years, it just kind of solidified, like, I really, 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 really like recording, and it just kind of blossomed from that.
That's dope. Yeah. That's real dope. I was halfway thinking of another question, then I got reined back in, and I was like, oh, wait.
It's all good.
So, yeah. Speaking of which, when you're beginning to think of a track, make a track, or anything like that, when it comes to equipment, what's your setup looking like? Like, what kind of, I guess, what kind of samplers are you using? What kind of software are you using? What do you have?
Yeah. So right now it's just I got an old iMac from my mom. She just gave it to me. But it's not, you can't really do much with that. So right now I'm still working off my 2012 MacBook Pro. In MacBook years, that's old as dirt.
It's like a dog years. Like, you might as well.
It's so a 42-year-old laptop.
Dang.
I use FL Studio. I love the way that it allows me to kind of express myself through music. It does it in a lot of linear as well as non-linear ways, and so I really appreciate that part of the software. I got an old MPC 2500 because sometimes you just need to feel it. You just need to play it out. You just need to get creative and experiment. And a lot of times,
real quick, because I have no idea what that means.
Okay.
What's an MPC?
So it's
all my music people. I know you're gonna have something to say in the comments. Yeah. It's fine. I don't pretend to be a music guy. I just want to know stuff. So an MPC.
It's a drum machine. Yeah, it's a drum machine.
Like a little touchpad thing.
Yeah. So boom, cat, boom, boom, cat. Like
see, now I know. It's called learning.
Yeah. So DJ Premier, if you've heard his beats, you know what I'm saying. A lot of Kanye West beats were done on the MPC. So just those are the types of sounds that it's capable of. But I have a MIDI keyboard, 25 keys. I actually just got a piano. like an actual real deal piano.
Oh,
so
we're gonna have to talk about that story.
that's
soon.
been a pretty huge addition just to be able to kind of sit down and play it. That's really dope. But yeah, I just try not to get too caught up in like gear and equipment and things like that. I just try to have something where I can do what I can do in the box on the laptop, and then just something where I can just touch and feel the music and groove with it. And so I try to keep it pretty simple.
Okay. Now, question about the piano.
Yeah.
I guess you're using a microphone.
Mm-hmm.
What kind of microphone are you using?
Right now it's an old condenser mic I brought my sophomore year.
Shout out to condenser
in
mics.
college. Yeah, it's this old condenser. It's an MXL 990. Yeah, it's pretty vintage. At the time it was pretty cool. But yeah, so that's what I'm using.
Okay.
Yeah.
Speaking of the piano,
For sure.
because I heard mainly from you,
Yeah.
I heard that there was quite the ordeal of getting said piano into your possession.
Yeah. So the story about getting the piano was it was just an unnecessary day. It was supposed to be the perfect Saturday, right? I had my haircut appointment lined up. I think me and you were supposed to hang out that day.
Probably.
And,
We're friends.
Yeah, for sure. And so I had everything lined up, supposed to get the piano. The lady that I was getting the piano from, she let me know, said, okay, we'll just drive by. My son's at the house. You just got to find a way to get it back to the crib. So, all right, cool. Got to get a U-Haul. So pull up to the house. Son's waiting at the front door, like, come on in. And so I look at the piano, decent sized piano. I mean,
He's been waiting to get rid of this piano.
Right.
He's been sitting there like, oh, thank God.
So I see him getting leverage to push the piano. So I'm like, is it that heavy? And then as we try to lift it, we find out
it's piano heavy.
It's piano heavy.
There's heavy, and then there's piano heavy.
I might have torn 3 muscles in my back just getting it out the door. Like something's hurt. So
it's the young life alert is what you need.
Yeah, man. I was about to lose it. We barely managed to get it on the truck.
2 dudes.
It took all of the strength and skill that we had to get the piano onto the U-Haul safe. So
did it get on standing up?
Yeah, we straight.
I feel like you have no choice but to transport a piano like that. I don't know if you could turn it.
No,
I think it messes it up.
Yeah, especially one that's I think that one was built in the 40s, something like that. It's a pretty old piano.
That piano's slightly racist.
Super racist.
Probably.
40s, super
man.
racist. Super.
Say, you better watch out before you touch these keys.
Yeah, for sure.
That piano's definitely let out a hard R slip once in a while.
Easily. But yeah, so I'm driving. I don't have anything to secure the piano down with because I've never transported a piano, so I clearly have no knowledge of what it takes to do.
No straps.
Nothing.
It's just sitting in the back. Is it like a truck or is it like a van?
It's one of those big like just trucks.
Okay. So you got like a legit box truck.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So
and this piano is doing what in the back of this box truck while you're driving?
Man, it was slightly sliding to the left and slightly sliding to the right. And it would have rendered my entire, because I had to pay for the U-Haul.
Right.
So I'm just like.
That security deposit was gone.
Dude, it was super gone. And I'm just driving and I was hitting bumps in the road and stuff. I've never been more aware of how bad the roads in Charlotte are sometimes. It's like, how many potholes are on the side?
These roads are real smooth until you have to transport an unsecured piano.
Right. So, I was getting on 77 going back home, and I just hit this huge pothole, and I just felt the piano shift. Oh, no. And it was the grace of God that piano did not fall. Got it home, safe, thank goodness. And I sat on the truck for like 2 hours trying to find somebody to help me lift it. I didn't have anybody to help me lift it.
Nothing like a young black man in a U-Haul. Hey, can you help me?
Can you help me move this piano, sir? Excuse me, sir.
In Charlotte, we're like, what's happening right now?
Like, why is this dude trying to help me, getting me help with this piano?
Am I on a TV show? Like, something's horribly is gonna go wrong.
Absolutely. So
I heard Chance the Rapper was filming Punk'd. It's probably one of his friends right now.
Right. So I finally found this this dude and his wife and his son, and it took all of us as a unit.
How old was his son?
Man, he
Old enough to lift a piano.
Old enough to help. You're gonna take away 5 pounds of pressure for us. That's something. That might be the difference.
Don't get caught in the door jam.
That's it.
Don't pinch your fingers.
We live on the first floor, so I was like, all we need to do is get off the truck. I can shift it and move it into the house. I can figure something out, but I just can't. We just can't get it off the truck. I can't lift it 3 feet down. It was a lot. And then we're workout clothes, so that's what made me kind of be persistent about asking. Because I was like, hey, you guys are gonna work out anyway.
I bet you that's what he thought too. He was like, shit, I'm in workout clothes. I definitely am about to work out. Right. And now I can't tell this man. And I'm going to look like a punk in front of my family.
You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, I just tried.
Did the wife hesitate like, oh, you should help him? Or was she just
no, she, so he was an older guy. So I'd say about maybe in his 40s. What clued me into that
he was an older guy. He was about 29 years old, and
he was definitely an older dude. Because his wife was like, I can't remember his name, but just
Jerry.
Jerry, your back. Watch your back. Watch.
That's an aggressive wife.
Watch your back. So
you know what? Okay, so I bet you he's done some questionable things before. For sure. Where his wife now has to be that aggressive. It's like your back.
Right. I have to remind you because clearly you're not gonna.
You don't care about your back. Your son cares about your back.
Right.
Jerry, if you're out there, number one, thank you for helping Matt move his
shout out Jerry.
Piano. Number two, watch your back, bro. Watch your back.
Yeah.
So they help you get this off the truck.
That's all I needed. And so cancel my haircut appointment. So I'm pissed. The day is over because I was going to get cute. So I had to wait. And so managed to get it inside the crib, and wherever I put it, that's where it stays.
That's where it's
probably not going to move ever unless we move. Even if we move out, I might just.
Does it have wheels?
Yes, but they're like very.
They're wheels from the 40s.
Yes,
those wheels are not.
They're not moving much. They might if you can get all of them to line up straight, but because they're so old, they're just not going to turn like that. So you almost have to push it, lift it,
push. Like these wheels are fixed. They're just gonna go forward and backward.
Right, and then one of the legs was wobbly.
Oh, hold on, wait, what?
One of the legs was wobbly. So if you push it too hard in one direction and that leg just catches, you're down a leg and most likely a piano.
Then he's giving out like a college player's ACL.
Man. Right. So that was the leg that kept giving me the most problems as I'm trying to push it. So I'm like, I'm trying to hold the leg, push the piano, lift it at the same time.
Never in the history of moving anything does a leg that's not part of the human body have this much importance to it. Where it's like,
dude, I was like, I just need this leg.
Yeah, we're treating that like a racehorse that just broke its leg or something. You were like, come on, man, we gotta
do something.
We ain't gonna send it to the glue factory.
We gotta do something.
Seabiscuit's gotta make it.
We gotta do something.
Man.
Yeah. So, we finally got it in.
Dang. Yeah. In that case. Ooh, before I forget.
Yeah.
Podcast etiquette 101. Look at me, kids. Learning and grooving because my phone was definitely not on silent. Knowing my luck, it'd be the one time where everyone blows up my phone.
Right.
But let's not play. No one's blowing up Mike's phone.
Right.
And...
oh no!
Just edit that out, Mike. Anyways, so your journey for Peter, is it Timmonsville or Timminsville? Timminsville.
Yeah.
So your journey from Timmonsville, how did you end up in Charlotte?
My day job. I work at a.
Well, now I have to bleep that out.
Yeah.
It's okay.
Wait, what happened?
No, you're okay. Keep going.
Oh, okay. Cool.
So your day job brought you here?
Yeah, for sure. And just being able to kind of be able to create with different people, collaborate with different just groups down here, different DJs, and just go to different events and just really kind of become embraced by the music scene. And it's been a really cool experience.
Now, for people that don't know, mainly me, what's the music scene like, or what's the hip hop scene like in Charlotte?
Everything about it is super welcoming. I'll say that. I mean, very open minded. whatever your vibe is, there are some guys that do that. If you are a battle cat, they got groups for that. They have events for that. If you just I like to drop songs on SoundCloud cat, they have that crowd. They have the, hey, we're really trying to do music crowd, and they have events for that. If you just want to participate in the culture, if you just want to attend, that's fine. If you want to rap, make a song, do whatever. Everybody that I've met has just been, hey, I make music, you do music, let's swap numbers and just link up. And so the culture has been very welcoming in that aspect, for sure.
That's pretty dope.
Yeah. I rocks with Charlotte for sure.
Yeah?
Yeah.
So, what do you have coming up in the future? Like, what kind of projects are you working on right now?
Well, I got a couple of things. Working on a song, just one song to put out to the people while we're on quarantine. Stuck in the house.
Episode 1 of the Corona Chronicles right now. If I could
Chronicles.
say it right, the Corona Chronicles.
Yeah,
I guess this will be episode 1.
Yeah, for sure.
Episode 2 of the podcast. Episode 1 of the Chronicles.
So
you got a quarantine special coming out?
Yeah. So I mean, we locked in the house, so it's just me and my roommate. We just trying to get some vibes. Stuck in the house music. People just sitting home online, wanting things to listen to, wanting different sounds, different vibes. So we're just trying to lock in and provide that. So
okay,
that's what I'm working on. Just trying to reach out, collaborate with more people, and just really kind of lay the groundwork for just a cool network of people who really trying to do some cool stuff.
Yeah. Speaking of which, speaking of cool network, as a giant truck just drives by, there's something that I notice about your music, and it's that you're not just in one lane. So it's not just that you can only do hip hop or anything like that.
Right.
You pull from a lot of different lanes and a lot of different genres of music. Where did that come from?
I think it was because my mom only let me listen to gospel music as a kid. All the music that I consumed was me literally downloading it off of some random MP3 player that I had, and just sneaking listening to, because she was always going through like my stuff that I was playing, computers, laptops, MP3 players, and all that.
No privacy.
Yeah, no, yeah. It's
Let's talk about this
very
real
little
quick.
privacy in a black household.
All of you privileged children that think that you're entitled to privacy when you live with your parents. That doesn't exist. As soon as any amount of melanin enters your body, privacy is gone. You don't know what that is anymore.
It's imaginary for sure.
Yeah.
It's imaginary.
There's
privacy.
Privacy what?
Yeah.
What? Like if you can hide sticky notes inside of your socks or something.
Right,
like what are you gonna? There's no privacy. So for you guys that think privacy exists, nah, bro.
Yeah, no.
Sounds about right to me.
So I had to sneak and buy just tapes of all the rappers that I was listening to at the time. So big Biggie fan. So I always had a Ready to Die tape. It's one of my favorite albums all time. Because I had to sneak and listen to music, and then when streaming came out, that's when I was like, oh, I can listen to any genre, any album that has nearly ever existed. And so just
what kind of stream? We talking like Napster and like LimeWire, get a virus on your computer streaming?
Now that's where I started as far as downloading my music. I've had a virus or two in my time. And when I say I mean my computer.
Yeah, to be clear, Matt's catching no viruses.
No viruses. Hashtag no viruses.
Yeah, no viruses, 2020.
Yeah.
But also all of your life.
Right. For sure. Yeah.
Yeah. So your computer caught all the viruses.
Yeah.
Shout out to LimeWire. Thank you guys.
Yeah, because that's really how I got my start in distributing music. Because all these pieces kind of came together because I was the cat that you asked for to make a mix CD. So
you were that dude.
Yeah. So I was just making a bunch of mix CDs for the kids. I was selling them for like $2. I would have the hottest album. I was definitely the dude in the barbershop like, hey, got these CDs. I was
this child at the bar. Right. Like, go home, kid. What you mean?
Yeah, I always had the latest albums, the mixtapes, everything. So just distributing music. I was like, man, this is cool. I can make music or make things for people to consume, and they'll pay me for it. You know what I'm saying? If I can tap into whatever they're looking for at the time. So, yeah, it's pretty cool. Pretty cool.
I completely sidetracked you from your other comment.
You did.
Yeah, but in my head, I saw you like
streaming
hiding.
Music. We were talking about streaming music.
Yes.
So Apple Music came out, and I think that was one of the more transformative events in my music career, simply because I discovered a lot of times you're going to listen to music that's kind of inside your bubble, aside from like the really, really big songs. So growing up at the time, it's like your NSYNCs, your Britney Spears, Avril Lavigne, who else was like the really poppy? I mean, Madonna,
everybody.
Yeah. So just those guys who are like super pop and super up there. Those were the only introductions I had to music outside of hip hop. But when Apple Music came out, and they just did such a great job of just giving you access to so many different genres and so many different avenues and places of music, that I was just like, I'm listening to everything.
I will say that their commercials definitely helped a lot, for sure, in the sense that, thinking back on it now, like you just remember that classic like silhouette of somebody dancing, white headphones, and it could have been any type of music. Like it was always something new or something different, where it wasn't like the same genre over and over again.
Right.
Shout out to Apple. Good job, you guys.
Apple. Yeah, they did that.
But also, send me a check, like anything. Like I'm gonna get all this free promo.
Something.
But yeah, so we're gonna take a quick break just to make sure that everything's still filming and working.
For sure.
Before we went on this break, I wanted to ask you, because you talk about your influences, your hometown and everything like that.
Yeah.
What do you think it was about your upbringing that kind of that molded you into who you are now, but like the type of artist that you are? Because you're not just like you're not the I'm gonna grind until the wheels fall off artist, but you're also not a just like I'm gonna put out one thing every once in a while and see what happens. So what about your upbringing led you to be this kind of like this kind of like semi workhorse, but also like get in the groove kind of flow artist?
Man, that is a very excellent question. I just grew up just hungry for a need to express myself, just a need to have a place, a space, something where I can just get out everything that I'm thinking, whether it's just thought, whether it's just writing, whether it's drawing or painting or making music. I had all those inclinations as a kid, but never really had an avenue to express them. And so just because it's been incubated for so long, now I'm kind of like everything that I create, I kind of treat it the same way, where I want to bake it, because the way that I think about music is so fluid. I could make a track today and tomorrow I hate it. Okay. And then the next day I love it. Then the next day I hate it, until I really understand what the music means for me and what that says from my perspective. And so really I just always just try to let the music speak. If it's not speaking, I move on. And I think as an artist, you kind of have to create until you find the art that's starting to speak to you, because anybody can create anything. Like you can make a track, you can do whatever you want to do, but I think is it speaking to you? And until I find a vibe or a song or an idea that really speaks to me, that tells me, hey, these are the words you need to write, this is the way that you need to convey this emotion, I just kind of sit on it. And I think, because I don't just want to be I got a hot record out. I always wanted to be like the type of artist that makes music where people say, okay, that makes me feel something, whatever it is, whether it's good, bad, positive, or negative. It makes you feel some type of emotion. And I just am very intentional with that aspect of my music.
Now, is that part of your process as well? Because you said that you'll bake on something or you'll sit on something. Real quick.
Yeah.
Well, not to expose everything that you do.
For sure. All good.
I guess like a summary or a preview for the people at home, like what your process looks like.
So voice memos on our phone It was real cool as far as my process is concerned. A lot of times, just in the heat of the day, that's where a lot of the work is done. I just have a lot of ideas throughout the day, and I just whether it's just like a bar or whether it's like a melody, like na, 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 you know what I'm saying? So just a melody idea or something like that, and I'll just record it, and then when I get in the studio at home, I'll just see if I can create it in the studio, I guess I would say. So I mean, that's pretty much it.
Okay.
Yeah.
And for the advice that you would have for any kind of, whether it's aspiring artists, musicians, anything like that, what do you got for them?
I think at the end of the day, you have to believe it. Whatever it is for you, you have to believe it. Because if you don't, convincing other people to do that is going to be very, very difficult. I think, and a lot of people, more people actually, especially early on, are going to tell you no, not you, someone else, not this sound, not this style, not this vibe or whatever. But you have to be so rock solid in your process and what you bring to the table that nothing on earth, in heaven, or in hell can shake you, for sure.
Nice. Well, on that note, where can people find you again?
So that is $1,000,000fingers. I'll say it again, $1,000,000fingers. Hard R.
All the letters in the word.
Regular way that you say it. Yeah.
Yeah. Nice. Projects coming up?
Yeah, so trying to have some quarantine type stuff. I don't know what it's called yet, but it's me and my roommate just in the lab, we locked in the house, nothing else to do but make music.
I heard a rumor you might have another album coming out.
Yeah. Got an album on the way. Trying to build up towards that. That's definitely going to be exciting. It's called Final Melody, and I'm super excited to just really put it out and let the people hear it. So hopefully this quarantine doesn't go on too long, or else I'll finish that too and just put it out. I'm just gonna do like a career's worth of
Matt
albums.
just has a whole discography, but at the end of this, he's like, "Hey, check out."
Right, I never have to go to the studio again.
Yeah, he's like, this is it, everybody.
So this is the music I'm just gonna release. You can have it.
Well, thanks for stopping by, and thank you guys. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe for more questionable content podcasts and other questionable content things. There are videos, there maybe memes or something in the future.
Maybe memes.
I don't know. I do a lot of things.
For sure.
But yeah, like, comment, subscribe, all that stuff down there. And we will catch you guys on the next episode of the Questionable Content Podcast.
Yes, sir.
Bye.
Coming in, yeah, flex, I just wanna win, yeah, LABB who we running with, yeah, 2233, I'm on 10 again, okay, alright, coming in, yeah, flex, I just wanna win.